let's get into higher, lower, Hail Mary. At the higher position, your buddy and mine, Geno Smith, he's going against the Giants. You got him as your quarterback 11, and this is significant because the experts like him at 14, which is a little outside of a standard starting league. So you actually like him inside the top 12.
Yeah, absolutely. How do you bench Geno against the Giants? They're giving up right now the 13th most points to quarterbacks, and that's with Dak going 143 scoreless yards, just 6 points. You look at the last 2 weeks, 25 to Josh freaking Dobbs, and then 20 to Brock Purdy. I mean, Geno's looked great. I know that week 1 dud had a lot of people questioning him, but he was the quarterback 5 last year. At some point, we got to have JSN taking 3, and he's just the past 2 weeks looked really good. 23, quarterback 8 that last week, and then Carolina, a little bit lackluster, only 16 points, but that was because Kenneth Walker ran into another rushing score. So ultimately, I think Geno Smith could bomb this Giants team. I think that game could be a pretty wild shootout there on Monday Night Football. I like Danny Dimes as well on the other side of things. +1 ECR on him. I do like Geno just a little bit more, though. Seems like he has a safer floor despite not quite the ceiling of Danny Dimes. So I have Geno just spot higher than Daniel Jones. I like both those guys, though, on Monday Night Football. Big fan of him. You can't have him on your bench right now.
All right, this one, I'm assuming that there must be a typo or something here. The guy you're lower on, Justin Fields against Denver, you have him as your QB 10, and that's 8 below the experts. So are you telling me the experts have Justin Fields as the QB 2 this week?
Oh no, so he's QB 18 for me.
Okay, I mean, I was just gonna say, like, how are we not dominating this industry right now if that's the case? Anyway, yeah. So anyway, the Wolf likes him at 18. That seems about right. The experts somehow have him in the top 10. I'm not sure how anyone who's seen him play this year could have him ranked so high. But Wolf, go ahead, defend your pick, which I'm obviously completely agree with.
It's really tricky because if there's ever a get right spot, it's against the Broncos, who just gave up 7 points. It's the perfect place. But as you say, yeah, he's so limited as a passer. It looks atrocious. The play calling is even worse. For a guy that just is one of the most athletic freaks, the designed runs are embarrassing. They've called a couple more by each passing week, but man, it's just not the right amount, where they were calling about 15 design runs last year and he was ripping off 170-yard games. Could he do that this week? Could he explode? And it's Justin Fields is back? Of course. And if it's going to happen, it would be against this defense. So I think a lot of people are projecting him to be that breakout. Let's have it back. But the quarterback 24, 20, and 15, and pretty okay matchup so far. It has looked so dysfunctional, so ugly. And he got a little bit banged up last week too. So even though I can recognize why people might have him in the top 10, because it is just so hard to ever say Justin Fields, once you put him on your bench, you know it's going to be the 30-point day that you drafted him in round 5 for. But you're going to keep putting him in and you're going to keep getting 12 points. I'm ready to bench him at this point. I don't want to cut him quite yet because this could be that week he blows up. But if you have anything serviceable, like Jared Goff tonight potentially, I just don't want to trust Justin Fields at this point, even knowing how ripe of an environment this is. It's just that's how inept both he looks. He doesn't look good himself, but also the play calling is as embarrassing as can be. I think this is the worst coach team in the NFL. I would not be shocked at all to see these guys fired midseason. I hope they do, and maybe they get somebody that could resurrect Justin Fields. But right now, I'm not ready to trust him.
Before we get into Hail Mary, real quick, Texas Hustler, who's one of my favorite super fans for Roto Street Journal. He just Dallas, Texas is watching. Pat Wolfpack for life. Thanks a lot, buddy. We really appreciate.
I think he might have a question somewhere in there. So Campanella, if you can flag and star that one, we'll definitely let you jump the line there. Texas Hustler, such a great hype man. Yeah, maybe just toss us $2 to hype us, but hey, maybe you got a question there. We want to make sure we hit it too.
We'll let you jump once we figure it out. Hail Mary, I love this. You said you wanted it to be Andy Dalton, but Bryce is playing. Stroud, 42% rostered, so he doesn't count. I know you were so ready to jump on the Dalton bandwagon, and I respect you for that. Jimmy G, 15% rostered. We actually talked about him earlier with all these, and what a boost he could be for Devontae God Mode Adams, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And if he's out and it's Aiden O'Connell, I'll switch my Hail Mary to him because I just think I was going to call them the Oakland Raiders, man. Oh, man, the Vegas Raiders could really go to town here on these Chargers. They are giving up the most points to quarterbacks. And even when you make that schedule adjustment, because they have faced some good offenses, it's still a top 5 matchup for signal callers. And Jimmy G, the guy that only likes to dink and dunk, right? He's actually 5th in air yards per attempt. He has the 2nd highest rate of attempting 15-plus yard passes. The guy is slinging it. He's got great weapons right now in terms of Devontae Adams going God mode, like you said last week, but also Jacoby Myers. And Josh Jacobs is so due for a breakout and getting such great receiving work. I'm a really big fan of Jimmy G. This Raiders offense so concentrated. I saw a stat that in their games together where Jacobs, Jacoby Myers, and Devontae Adams have all played together, 95 of the 102 total touches have gone to these guys. That's how concentrated it is. That's what you die for as a fantasy fan, that all this volume is going to only 3 mouths right now. And it hasn't quite worked out for Jacobs, but it obviously is working out for the 2 receivers here. Diehard fan of this offense, though, in a great matchup. They're going to have to chase points. I think it's a great spot if you need a desperation quarterback, whether Jimmy G, Aiden O'Connell. I don't know about Brian Hoyer. I don't know if I can go that far. But I think Jimmy G's trending towards playing. He'd be my Hail Mary for sure at quarterback.
All right.
What is up, you fantasy wolf? Thanks so much for tuning in. If you haven't already, share your thoughts in the comments. Check out some more videos and join the newest Wolfpack by subscribing below.